Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the FIBA online session webinar. Today, our topic is the duties of the crew chief and the last 2 minutes. The duties of the crew chief as the leader of the group will be explained. We'll look at and emphasize the fact that they are in a team of 2 or 3 referees. We'll also look at what happens during the period before the game commences, during the game, and at the end of the game. And then finally, the second area we will deal with is the last 2 minutes and what the duties of the crew chief will be. I'm here today with my colleague, Mr. Maturen Nguesan, FIBA referee instructor from La Côte d'Ivoire. My name is Idris Sugamel. I am very from Ghana. We hope that you have a pleasant ride. We are welcome one more time. Thank you very much. Maturen, take it over.
Okay. Thank you, my friend Idrisu. As you said, I'm Mr. Maturen Nguesan from Côte d'Ivoire, referee instructor. Welcome everybody for this topic about this chief and last 2 minutes of the game. This is very important topic because during the game, you have to know the power of the crew chief and all you have to do in the last 2 minutes of the game. This is very important. So I said you welcome and you are together for 1 hour. I wish you will do a good job and what you have to talk here will help you in the future. Thank you. So who is the crew chief? The crew chief is the lead referee and act as a captain of the group, the captain for the group. What group? It is the referee group. You have the team, the 2 teams face to face, and third team is the team of the referees. So it's very important to have a teamwork, but to have this teamwork, it is important also to have a captain who leads this teamwork. So it is very important to have some quality. The crew chief must have some quality. The quality of, naturally, a quality of leaders. The crew chief must be a very leader to lead the referees. You have also another quality is a very manager. The crew chief must be a good manager to do his best to put everybody, to put his partner in a teamwork, to have the best to his partner during the teamwork. It's very important for the crew chief to be a very good manager for a good teamwork. You have to be a leader. A leader means the guys who can help, who can support everybody, who can support his partner. It's very important to be a very good leader to help, to give energy for his partner to do their best during the game. You have to give their best during the game. Okay, so Mr. Diaby, you can't share one video to know who can be the crew chief. You have here a dog. Difference between boss and leaders. You have one dog who is the boss and another who give a solution for his partners. So I think it must be, okay, thank you. No, okay, thank you, Mr. Diaby. Okay, so this illustration is the role of the crew chief. The crew chief must give a solution. The crew chief is not the almighty, the guys who crush everybody. No, the crew chief must be a guys who give an opportunity of everybody to do their best. So you have some duties before the game. The pre-game. The crew chief have some duty in the pre-game, in the dressing room. He has to organize the teamwork. You saw the picture of the three referees are in the dressing room. So at this moment, 1 hour before the beginning of the game, you have to be here and to share experience. So you have to talk about the game. To talk about the game, like how to manage the clock, the game clock, the shot clock, how to eye contact during the game, to the game clock or to the shot clock at each new possession, at each out of bounds. This must be shared during the pre-game conference. You have also to share how to manage the team bench, how to manage the coach, the other players on the team bench. It's very important. How to manage the double call. If you are double call, what can I do? It's better to give an opportunity for the referee to whom the action is coming to go to the table official. We have to talk this one, we have to talk it to be agree about this action. How to manage a rebound situation. It's very important. You have three during the rebound situation where you can look the leads, the center, the trail, the responsibility of each referee is very important during rebound situation to avoid looking the two referee, to avoid looking the same action for the two referee. It's also important to know, to share the criteria about unsportsmanlike foul. It's very important. To share also the criteria about technical foul. So unsportsmanlike foul, you have some criteria. So you have to be agree about all these criteria to be in the same, to have the same criteria during the game. This pre-game conference is very important to control the game. If you don't do it very carefully, it will be difficult for you to have a good teamwork during the game. So it's very important. So be careful. If you are crew chief, you have to work to do it very carefully. The crew chief is not always the oldest of the referee. The crew chief is sometimes the experienced referee. The referee who, according to the organizer, can lead the game to a good term without problem. So if you are not the crew chief, don't say I'm the holders and why not I'm not the crew chief. No, this depends on the organizer committee. They have to choose the referee according to them who can lead the game as a good team. So even if you are the holders, try to do your best to help the teamwork. It's very important. So before the playing time, you have some duty before the playing time. As referee, you have to inspect and approve all equipment to be used during the game. You have a shot clock, you have a game clock, and also the score sheet. You have to see all of this to be sure all of this is very good prepared for the game. You have to recognize the table official. You have to come and share with them something, and to recognize them, to give them some information about the game. It's also important for the crew chief. You have to select the game. Select the game ball. It's very important to select the game ball 10 minutes before the beginning of the game. If you want 3 minutes, it's very important. But you have to select the game during the used ball, not the new ball. Okay. And 10 minutes before the beginning of the game, check that the score sheet is correctly filled out. It's very important to start the game at time. Ensure that coach have signed the score sheet and have also indicated the 5 starter. The crew chief must blow his whistle to indicate the time remaining, 3 minutes, 1 minute 30 before the game. Very important to know this timing during the game. It's very important. Administrate also, the crew chief, one of the duty is to administrate the jump ball at the beginning of the first quarter, okay? So you have to be ready. You have to work to administrate this jump ball properly. If you are crew chief, one of your best work must be administrate the jump ball properly. During the game, what must be the duty of the crew chief during the game? You have some duty during the game. You have to administrate the throwing at the beginning of all over quarter. All over quarter means the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. So the first quarter begins with the jump ball, and you have to administrate the beginning of the quarter by the throwing. You have to blow your whistle 30 seconds before the beginning of the second quarter or of the fourth quarter. 13, you have to blow your whistle to show the team that the game must begin. Make the final decision whenever necessary or when the referee disagree. Okay, you have to take the final decision. If you are disagree about a decision, you have the power to stop the game when conditions warrant it. If you see that the team, after warning, don't want to start the game, you have the power to stop the game. If you see that the team, by the action, prevents the game to continue, you can stop the game. It's your power. You have the power to determine that a team shall forfeit the game 15 minutes after the time to begin the game. If the players, if one team is not ready, you have a power to determine that team forfeit. You have a power to make decision on any points not specially covered by the referee. Okay, it's very important that you are sometimes if you have a situation during the game and the rules are silence, you have the power to take the decision. Make the decision whether the IRS review shall be used or not. During the game, you have, during the game, an equipment, the IRS. So to show this IRS, the crew chief must take the decision for IRS review. The decision must be taken by the crew chief. So you can share a video, Mr. Diaby. You can share a video about this situation, or a referee take the decision to IRS. Okay, so it called a foul, a personal foul, and now another referee come to them, talk to them and say, it's possible to be a non-sportsmanlike foul. So they decide to go to IRS review to see if they can upgrade or downgrade this foul. So they are looking the IRS if it is unsportsmanlike foul or personal foul. So what they are seeing is to see if he try to play the ball, or the defender attention is only to stop the game. But the decision, the final decision for the referee is a personal foul, because for him, the players try to play the game. Okay? This is a situation during the game. The crew chief have this opportunity to go to the IRS and to upgrade or to downgrade the decision according a personal foul or an unsportsmanlike foul. And at the end of the playing time, the crew chief have some duties at the end of the playing time. You have carefully examine the score sheet. In the dressing room, carefully, you examine the score sheet to be sure that all the information on this score sheet is correctly mentioned, and approve and sign the score sheet. You have to approve and sign the score sheet after looking all the information. If you agree about all the information, all the score, the winning team, and all the information, if you agree, you say okay, and you talk to your members, your team members, to sign. And you are the last. The crew chief is the last to sign the score sheet after being signed by his partners. You have to enter. The crew chief have to enter on the reverse side of the score sheet in the room, signing the score sheet. You can't enter a forfeit or disqualifying foul situation. You can enter also any unsportsmanlike behavior by team members. If between the end of the playing time and the signing of the score sheet, If you have some unsportsmanlike behavior by team members, it's important for the crew chief to write it on the reverse side of the score sheet to inform the organizer committee about this unsportsmanlike behavior by team members. It's important to do it to prevent in the future, this behavior. It's very important because power at the end of the playing time, but you can send a report to the organizer committee of the competition if you think you have some unsportsmanlike behavior at the end of the playing time. So be careful, you have a power to do it. So you are finished with the crew chief power, and the second part of our conference is about the 2 last minutes. The 2 last minutes is a special situation during the game. In the 2 last minutes, it's like rule change about some situation. The first situation is about the throwing. During the throwing, in the last 2 minutes, you have some situation you have to be careful. During the throwing, referee have a special signal to do during the throwing in the last 2 minutes. The referee signal is illegal boundary line. This signal is a warning to prevent violation and delay, all of the game in the last 2 minutes during the throwing. You prevent violation, you warning to prevent a violation, because some players like to delay the beginning of the resume of the game. So it's very important to do big signal to avoid this kind of behavior of the player who like sometimes to prevent the resume of the game. If a defensive player commits a violation after this warning, it is immediately a technical foul, because you warning the player. So you have to do it. It's like a warning. If before a technical foul, you have to know before a technical foul, the first action you have to do is the warning. So you warn, and after violation of this warning, technical foul. So the signal, the illegal boundary line crossing, you have to do it. You have to do some exercise about it to do it properly. During the throwing, you have some, you have and also during the throwing, following a timeout taken by a team that is entitled to the possession of the ball from its backcourt, the referee have to ask to the head coach that team, to the head coach of that team, whether the game shall be resumed, front court or back court. So after a timeout taken by the team that is entitled to a possession from the ball from its backcourt, remember that you have to ask to the head coach where you want the game to be resumed, front court or back court. If it is front court, be sure that the term must be, if it is out of bounds, you have to begin the game with the term remaining. If the term is, less than, if the time is less than 14 seconds, it is less than 14 seconds, you begin with this time. It is more than 14 seconds, you have front score, but you have to resume the game with 14 seconds. So the coach have the right to decide where the game shall be resumed, front score or back score. The referee asks and the coach decides. So very important during the last 2 minutes of the game. Throwing. Go and ask and give the opportunity to the coach to decide. This is very important. During the throwing, also defensive foul and sportsmanlike foul. During the throwing in the last 2 minutes, you have the opportunity for the referee to give an unsportsmanlike foul one of the criteria of the unsportsmanlike foul, the defensive player don't have a right to a foul when the ball is in the hand of a thrower in or at the disposal of the referee. If in this situation a defensive player make a foul, this foul is an unsportsmanlike foul. So you can prevent this situation, and it's also important, if you want to prevent this situation, you can talk to the players to be careful. If it is a defensive foul, this foul will be an unsportsmanlike foul. Okay? And in the last 2 minutes, you have also an opportunity of substitution and an opportunity of substitution for the non-scorer team. After basket, if the non-scorer team wants a request, if the non-scorer team requests a substitution, it is right to have it. So you have to be careful about the table official, to talk to them and to see with eyes contact that the non-scorer team have requested a substitution. Because if you don't give them an opportunity to do this substitution, it's like you penalize them. This team, because they want one player to be in the game, and you delete this opportunity of the player to enter. So it's very important for the referee at this last 2 minutes of the game, this last moment of the game, this important moment of the game, to manage all the situation rightly. If not, you will have a very bad term of game. So be careful and try to do your best at this last moment of the game to give a right of the team to do this opportunity substitution correctly. IRS review in the last 2 minutes. So, successful basketball before.
Il est 12 heures.
Successful basketball before the shot clock signal sound. Whether a shot clock for a field goal has released before any foul was committed, or whether a goaltending or basketball interference violation are called correctly, and also to identify the players who has caused the ball to go out of bounds. So you have here the signal of iris review. If any one of these situations occur in the last 2 minutes, it is an opportunity to go to the iris review and to have a good decision. Okay, this is very important because the last 2 minutes, it is the moment, the very important moment of the game. Also, the last 2 minutes, the timer have to stop the game clock when the field goal is scored. At each moment, you have a field goal, you have a scoring of a field goal. The game clock must be stopped. Very important. So it's very important for the referee to be careful of this situation. Eyes contact, game clock at this moment of the game. Eyes contact always, to be sure the timer stop the game clock because it is an important moment of the game. Okay, the timer have to do correctly his job to stop the game at each field goal scored. Thank you.
Hello, Baturen.
Yeah.
Hello, Baturen. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. How do we proceed? I see some comments and at least one question and 2 questions. I don't know if you want us to take the questions now.
Yes, okay.
Nothing to add other to say that, this has been well explained. The duties of the crew chief and what is required that he does during the last 2 minutes of the game. So if we agree, I'm going to go now quickly to the, well, we have a comment from Sami Balgarek. He says, mistakes are not permitted in the last 2 minutes. I'm sure this is a contribution he's making. And it is important that the crew chief will coordinate what happens during this period with his colleague referees because they are a team. Then the first question says, during a throw-in in the last 2 minutes, when a defensive foul can be considered as a technical or an unsportsmanlike foul? There are 2 parts of the question. During the last 2 minutes of the game, during a throw-in, when can a defensive foul be considered as a technical or unsportsmanlike foul?
During the last 2 minutes, a defensive foul cannot be a technical foul. A defensive foul, if you call a foul during the last 2 minutes, during a throw-in, if a ball is still in the hands of the thrower-in, it is always an unsportsmanlike foul. It can be a technical foul. The defensive players, a foul of a defensive players can be it cannot be a technical foul. It's always an unsportsmanlike foul. Okay? If a ball is still in the hands of the thrower-in, it is always an unsportsmanlike foul. I don't know if you have a situation, you can be a technical foul. No. A technical foul is a behavior foul. It's not a foul of contact. If you have contact, it is a unsportsmanlike foul. Okay, thank you.
The second part of that question is substitution opportunity for the non-scoring team. Can it be granted or accorded by the crew chief without the marker's whistle? Marker as in the scorer's whistle.
Okay, this situation must be administered always by the official table. Table official must request, must sound for this situation. But if you see that there is an opportunity of substitution request by a team, and the team have the right to have this opportunity, this substitution, you can stop the game and ask to the table official to give them an opportunity of the substitution. It is to manage the game, to have a friendly hand of the game. If not, you will have a pressure of the team, of the head coach of that team, and you will finish this game in very difficulty. So it's important for you to show that there is a request, and if they have the rights, give them this opportunity to the substitution. It's game management. It's also game control. Okay, thank you.
Someone passed a comment that the technical foul, like you said before, technical foul is not a contact foul. So in that situation that was described, it is not acceptable to call a technical foul. It must always be an unsportsmanlike foul. Okay. Yeah, just an unsportsmanlike foul. And the next question from Milton Makamo. As a crew chief, I asked the coach why he wants to resume the game by throwing. The coach said in front court, before the ball becomes live, can the coach change his decision?
It's not possible for the coach to change his decision. If the coach says, front court, finish, his decision is this last. It don't have a possibility to say it. Front court and after back court. No, it's not possible. If the coach decides, front court, share the decision of the coach to your partner. Front court, you indicate immediately front court. After this, it's not possible for the coach to change his decision, even if the throw-in is not already administered. Okay, so when you ask to the coach where you want the game to be resumed, if the coach said immediately front court, you share this decision and you say front court, you indicate front court, and it's finished. The coach don't have a possibility to change his decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question says, after the timeout in the last 2 minutes, is it necessary the crew chief who has to ask the coach where the throw-in is going to be taken? Yes.
No, not necessary. Not necessary. It can be the referee near the coach. You are two referee. You know that 10 minutes or 20 minutes, 20 seconds, 20 seconds before the end of the timeout, you have a referee who goes closely to the team bench. And 10 seconds, you have to ask to the team to go back on the court to play. So at this moment, the referee near the coach can ask to them where you want the game to be resumed. And after the decision of this coach, he shared the decision of MV for his partner, and it's finished. It's not necessarily the crew chief. Thank you.
This question looks like we've answered, but I'll put it out there. It says, during the last 2 minutes, the ball is in the hand of the thrower in, or in the hands of the referee. A foul caused by a defensive player. Should it be unsportsmanlike?
In the last 2 minutes,
yes.
The ball is still in the hand of the thrower in, and you have a contact by the defensive player. If the referee call a foul, is immediately an unsportsmanlike foul. You don't have a choice. Okay?
Next question. If an umpire, that means a referee, calls for an unsportsmanlike foul, and the crew chief asks for IRS, and for his opinion is a personal foul, does the crew chief have the power to downgrade the foul?
The crew chief don't have a power to downgrade the foul. It is after looking the IRS review, they decide together that the foul is personal or unsportsmanlike. They go together to IRS review to see the foul properly, and they decide. If the crew chief and the umpire decide together the final decision. If they decide to downgrade, the umpire who call this foul come on the ground and show that it is a personal foul. Right? They downgrade, but they decide together. It's not a power for the crew chief to decide alone that this foul is a personal foul, is not an unsportsmanlike foul. No, they have to have a teamwork. They discuss, they go to the IRS, they see properly the action, and they take together the good decision. And the final decision is not taken by the crew chief, is taken together and shown by the umpire who called the foul. Thank you.
I think that it's important to clarify that, like they said, that last question, where they ask when the ball is in the hands of a thrower in and also in the hands of the referee, the situation is the same. The precision must apply in both situations in making that judgment. Next question. In the last 2 minutes of the game, the umpire calls a personal foul and the crew chief is not sure about the umpire. Sorry, I'm missing it. He's not sure about the umpire's decision. May the crew chief ask for umpire 1 to check the IRS? Last 2 minutes.
Yes, it is the duty of the crew chief to ask to the umpire to check the IRS. It is the responsibility of the crew chief to request this situation, to request to see the IRS review. It is right.
When the game clock shows like 12 seconds in the last quarter, after timeout, is it possible to resume the game in the backcourt? 12 seconds. When the game clock shows 12 seconds in the last quarter, after the timeout, is it possible to resume the game in the backcourt?
In the last quarter, after timeout,
yes.
What team have the right to to resume the game. If it is the team who asks a timeout, the head coach of that team have the opportunity to decide back goal or front goal. But what time is remaining? 40 seconds?
12 seconds.
4.
12. On. 12.
12.
12, yes.
12 seconds.
Wait.
All right. 12 seconds. Second. Here you can say Batco. You can say so, but the shot clock, the game clock must be always 12 seconds, even if it is Batco or front goal. But the head coach have to decide where you want to resume the game. Thank you.
Thank you. With 3 seconds to the end of the quarter or game, if the timer delays to start the timer, can the referee whistle to end the game?
What? If what? 3
seconds to the end of a quarter or a game.
Yeah.
The timekeeper or the timer delays to start the timer. Can the referee whistle to end the game?
I don't understand very well this question.
What it is saying is that we have 3 seconds to end the game.
The
timekeeper, the timer, he didn't start the clock appropriately. He didn't start it on time. Can the referee whistle to end the game?
But this situation is about eyes contact of the game clock or the shot clock during the game. Yes. It's not at the end of the action you can see this situation. It is better to see this situation at the beginning. If you have sometimes eyes contact with game clock or shot clock, you can see correctly that you have wrong management of the timer, the game time. So the referee have to take the decision before, not after. It's about eyes contact, always at eyes contact with game clock. That's why I told that you have to have eyes contact always with game clock and shot clock to correct the time. Correct the time before the problem is coming. Okay, thank you.
There's one more question. At the end of the IRS review, who shall report the final decision?
At the end of the final review, the IRS review, who shall take the final decision? But they take it together. After seeing the situation correctly, the crew chief and the referee who call the foul, they take it together. And it is the referee who call the foul who come to show the final decision. It's not the crew chief. It is the referee who call the foul, who come on the ground to show the final decision.
And I just wanted to add that in case it's an issue of a violation like an act of bounds situation, and they are not sure about what have you, they use the IRS, it is still the official that is responsible for that situation. I don't see any more questions at this moment. We have 10 minutes more to the top of the program? No, I think there's one question that has just come in. There's a comment here. Well, let me read it out. It's a contribution from Bernard Vassallo. He says that on the question asked on the last 3 seconds and the timekeeper not sharing the game clock correctly, the referees still have the power to determine if the 3 seconds have passed and can even cancel a basket if they think time had run out. Your opinion? It's a contribution that he's making. Hello, Mathurin. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Okay, you're back. We don't have any more.
Okay. Hello.
No, there's one more question that has just come in.
Yes.
By Milton Macamo. He said, where does the crew chief have to be to show the decision of the coach after asking him where he wants to resume the game? In the middle of the court?
No, it's not possible. On front court, you have to go on the floor, on the line of the throw in, on the throw in, on the throw in. There are a throw in line, front court.
There, someone is asking a question. I'll try and read this French. I see here.
So if you want to go, what? It is so.
Submission.
What do you?
There's a question here in French. I want to try and read it. Est-ce que vous pouvez poser la question en français?
Okay, let me see the question in French.
Why are we not asking questions in French?
Yes, I don't see this question in French. I see like last 2 minutes, Team A have a ball in his front court. Coach A take a timeout. It is to Team A to have a throw-in on the back court. No, it's not possible. If you say Team A have a ball in his front court, Coach A take a timeout. Is it to Team A to have a throw-in on the back court? No, it's not possible. If he have a ball in his front court, the game shall be resumed in his front court. The rule about the decision of the coach to decide front court or back court is always when the ball is back court, not in front court. If it is still in the front court, the game shall be resumed. Idriso?
Yes.
Idriso? I see another question. Can the crew chief modify the decision of his college without PRS? I think the crew chief have to manage the game, the decision of his college. You have to talk together, and if if he can't in the right hands, in the right way, his colleague can himself decide to modify the decision, but he can't go and decide and talk to his colleague to modify the decision. No, you have even the IRS equipment, but they don't need to go immediately to the IRS. Before go to the IRS, they have to talk. They have to manage. They have to talk together. If they don't agree, they go now to the IRS, but they have before to talk and take together the good decision. If they are not agree, they go now to the IRS, they decide to go to the IRS and take the final decision. But it's not good for the crew chief to go and immediately ask to his umpire to change his decision. This is not good, okay?
There's one more question from Isaiah Sidonio.
Yeah.
The result, 78 for Team A and 79 for Team B, with the game score, which is the game score. And we have 0-0 from 0-9 in the last quarter. A1 ends the game with 2 points. After the end of the whistle, A1 pushes B2. What foul is it? Is it an unsportsmanlike foul?
What is the time remaining?
0.09.
0.09.
Yes.
And what is the situation? Throw in?
Yes.
Throw in.
Yes.
The ball is still in the hand of a thrower in.
No, it's not a throw-in. The game ends with 2 points. It says the game ends with 2 points. After the end of the whistle, that means the game has ended.
Yeah.
A1 pushes B2.
Yeah.
Is it an unsportsmanlike foul?
No. No, it's not possible to have an unsportsmanlike foul after the end of the game. The game is finished, it's finished. If you have this situation, I talk to you, if you have the unsportsmanlike behavior at the end of the game, between the end of the game and the sign of a scholarship, you have to put this kind of behavior on the scholarship, on the reverse of on the scholarship. It's not possible for you to call an unsportsmanlike foul. The game is finished. Okay.
We have 2 minutes to go. There's a question in French. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see it. Dans les 2 dernières minutes, I'm sorry, I don't think I can do it.
Dans les 2 dernières minutes, dans le cas où il y a IRS Review, qui va voir la vidéo et qui va communiquer avec la table de marque. He says that in the last 2 minutes, and in case of IRS review, we must go to the video, to the IRS, and we must communicate with the table official. They go together. They go together. It is always, if the crew chief call the foul, you have to go with one umpire. If it is an umpire, the crew chief go with this umpire. So they go always two. They see the video and they take the final decision. The final decision after have been taken must be shown by the referee who called the foul. The referee who called the foul. Donc c'est l'arbitre qui a sifflé la faute qui va indiquer la décision finale. C'est pas forcément le qu'on appelle le crew chief. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we are on the top of the hour. It is 12:30 at the moment. I'd like to just say a few words, and Maturen, you close the meeting. Thank you very much for this collaboration this afternoon. We started out to have a discussion with our panelists or audience on the duties of the crew chief, and the last 2 minutes, we have laid out the parameters that are required in order that a good decision can be made. It was set out at the beginning that this is a team, but there's a leader of the team that is the crew chief. And throughout the discussion, it has been emphasized what are the specific things that the crew chief will do in order that together with his members of his team, whether it is 2-man crew or 3-man crew, they are able to adjudicate the game properly, especially during the very crucial moments of the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime. We thank you very much for attending this session. Maturen, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And over to you for your closing remarks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my friend, and see you later. Thank you, FIBA Africa.